Representative Lawler is introducing 3 new housing bills, and one of them could have major implications for drinking water safety in northern Westchester. This is the Westchester Brief. I'm Jim. Let's get into it. Earlier this week, Representative Mike Lawler introduced 3 housing-focused bills in Congress. The first 2 target the barriers that drive up housing costs in our region. H.R. 7597 requires the federal government to collect and publish data on local zoning and land use rules that complicate housing development. The second bill, H.R. 7596, expands housing options for elderly and disabled residents. But the third bill is what caught our attention. It's called the Superfund Area Facts and Exposure Act. The legislation requires the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, to study homes within 1 mile of federally designated Superfund contamination sites. We're talking about mapping potential exposure to hazardous substances right here in our backyard. That matters because just north of here, the Amawalk Reservoir in Yorktown is contaminated with PFAS, a class of forever chemicals. Federal testing found levels at 4.6 parts per trillion. The federal safety limit is 4 parts per trillion. Now, upstream of that same reservoir, a real estate developer called Solane Realty wants to build the Granite Pointe subdivision, 23 homes bordering the contaminated water supply. Lawler also applauded House passage of the Housing for the 21st Century Act. That measure passed overwhelmingly in early February, 390 votes for, 9 against. Bipartisan support, and it includes a Lawler provision, Section 8 voucher reform, designed to expand housing access for low-income renters across the country. Here's the bigger political picture. Lawler is one of only 3 Republicans holding seats in districts that supported Vice President Harris in last year's election. NY 17, his district, is considered a toss-up. He's seeking a third term in what political observers call a swing district, and 8 Democrats are now competing in the June primary to challenge him. So the question is, are these bills policy solutions to real housing problems, or is Lawler staking out a messaging strategy ahead of a tough re-election? The answer is probably both. Lawler's track record on housing and property tax relief shows genuine legislative focus. The Superfund study addresses a real environmental concern. Whether it generates the political momentum he needs, we'll see. What's happening? The clock is ticking for New Yorkers on the essential plan. The federal government eliminated $7.5 billion in annual funding for that program. Starting July 1st, approximately 470,000 New Yorkers, many of them legally present immigrants, will lose zero premium coverage. Alternative marketplace plans cost up to $250 a month with $2,500 deductibles. Open Door Family Medical Centers in Westchester serve more than 60,000 low-income patients who could be affected. The SALT deduction cap just went up. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act raised the state and local tax deduction cap from $10,000 to $40,400. For a household earning $250,000 with $25,000 in property taxes and $14,000 in state income taxes, that's approximately $7,000 to $8,500 in federal tax savings per year. But households earning $600,000 or more, they get zero relief. And here's what's putting pressure on household budgets nationwide. A New York Federal Reserve study found that 90% of tariff costs are borne by U.S. consumers. The Tax Foundation estimates tariffs amount to $1,300 per household in 2026. That exceeds the estimated $1,000 tax cut benefit from the One Big Beautiful Bill. The average effective tariff rate is now 13.5%, the highest since 1946. For the New York City metro area, including Westchester, that adds up to approximately $4,200 in added annual costs. Subscribe on YouTube for the video version of this episode. I'm Jim, and I live here. I'll see you tomorrow.